What's up, Gamer community? It's not uncommon for us to play multiplayer games, and it's a great way for us to connect with our friends. But I do feel like split screen, local co-op, it's a dying breed. And thankfully, we've found some people to talk about this and their own game, so that there's a new game on the market that we can just play couch co-op. So if you do have friends, more power to you. We've got a game that you guys can play together. So I'm gonna hope you'll join me in giving a warm welcome to Sophie Blanchette from Boris. So hi, Sophie.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for having me here and talking about the dying breed of real couch co-op games, split screens.
Yeah. So Sophie is part of Boris, who are in the greater Montreal area. I've been told to be very specific about that, not being a Montreal native myself. I'm glad I got the distinction. So you've got this game that we briefly spoke to the team about at the Montreal Games convention called Hack and Stack. Pretty much everything you want to know sounds like it's in the title from what I've seen in the key art and stuff. But give us some context and give our viewers a bit of an understanding. What is Hack and Stack, and who are Boris?
Yeah, so Hack and Stack. Easy. Party, chaos, strategy, building, and combat. That would be the core of it. So players are dropped into a world where teamwork and creative problem solving would be the key to victory. So the core mechanics: building, stacking, hacking, hence the name. Players at first must harvest resources from different spots on a map and fortify defenses using physics-based stacking of various blocks. There's an incentive on stacking higher and higher and higher, so your defenses get stronger. The objective is to shield some weird apparatus that is an energy light transmitter. And the more you advance, there will be more of them and that you have to protect. And story-wise, those are vital to repelling the dark forces that are coming in waves. The physics aspect of the gameplay adds some unpredictability and require the players to think quickly and adapt to the chaos that is just everywhere. But beyond building, as I said, enemies comes in waves, which are always presenting new challenges that you have to adapt, and you have to manage your resources, construct barriers, and reconstruct them because it's in phases. So you have like the building phase and afterwards the enemy phase. So you have to reconstruct everything that was undone and fend off foes while adapting to their strategy in real time, because in the enemy phase, the players engage in fast combat using both traditional weapons, but also improvised tools, which is really fun because everything from like resource blocks to other players, you can use like one of the player and just smash like the enemy with another player, or even the enemy. If you're able to stun one of the enemy and it's still alive, you can take the enemy as a weapon. So it gets really creative and dynamic, and like it's an ever-changing combat mode because like creativity is in the center of it and fun, most of it. So like it's a perfect setting for like party games and such, because like you're sitting with friends and it's just like pounding scenarios that you can just use someone like, hey, you haven't asked me for that, and like boom, 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 you're using your friend as a weapon. It's just really fun.
Well, I mean, as the youngest sibling of three, I think it would be pretty cool to use my siblings as weapons. So, I mean, you're bringing that concept to life, which is great. So, from what I understand, technically speaking, Boris aren't necessarily the only development team here. You've got a small team within Boris
Exactly.
that have started their own little group called Dodo Taco. So my understanding is this is the first title from Dodo Taco. So what can you tell me about the studio and what were they hoping to achieve, and I guess what was the whole idea behind sort of breaking off and just doing your own little small thing within the company?
So actually, since we're a service company, it started at first with one artist that had an idea, and our CEO was like, we're doing it, but like we still have to do services. So like he was like, okay, you want to do your thing? Well, you're coming together as a new company within the bigger one, and we're gonna just help you with that amazing project that we believe in. And at first, the game was really different because we've been working on this game for like since 2020, I would say. Like with COVID and everything, there's a lot of things, and it was a totally different game. It was called The Tower because there was a tower that was the center of the game, and it was inspired by the literal fact of a tower defense, like being literal with the aspect of tower defense, and where a player would physically stacks blocks to construct and defend a tower. We rapidly figured the limitation of the original design because it was getting repetitive really quickly, and we actually went to convention with that prototype, and it wasn't the feedback we received, and we were like, yeah, that's totally true. So we diverged and brainstormed new approaches, focusing more on fun mechanics and like physical building and resource-based combat and split screen.
Okay, so I guess would you describe like Dodo Taco as kind of like the development branch of Triple Boris? Is that kind of
that's
where you're getting at?
that's pretty much it. Like we really want to as Dodo Taco be our own thing with our own IPs. So because we've worked with a lot of other people IPs, so now it's like it's art, and we know we're creatives. We know we have incredible artists that can just do something, and amazing developer with amazing ideas that we just want to bring to the public.
So, as you said, it's pretty chaotic. It's a party game. I mean, I've seen it. It's very fun and whimsical. Is it even just looking at the description there? You've got even on your Steam page and on the materials you gave us that it's all about the kingdom of. I'm probably going to say it wrong, but like the kingdom of Faunus. So is there going to be a story behind it? Like, is there going to be a campaign or story, or is there some lore that players are going to know about coming into the game?
Yeah, actually, there's a story, there's lore that is directly linked to the gameplay. So the kingdom of Faunus was actually a peaceful realm until some mysterious rift unleashed a dark cloud full of shadowy figures. This cloud enveloped most of the kingdom, plunging it into darkness. And then the royal scientist, Dr. Riddyhoff, the raccoon, developed some weird energy light transmitters that can repel the cloud's sinister's inhabitants. But that's when the gameplay mix with the story is the players embody ordinary citizens, stepping up to install defenses for those transmitters' key locations. Since the transmitters require some time to fully charge, the players must improvise as both builders and defenders, crafting barricades, turrets, and they have to battle those foes to ensure the transmitter's full survival. We have characters without name for the moment, but we have the seagull that is a fisherman, an alligator soldier, an alpaca baker, a shark who loves lounging at the beach. And I think it's a beautiful world that informs the gameplay. So like, there will be some aspects story-wise and it will be seen more through gameplay than actual like narrative. I know, and I'm not sure yet, there will be a story mode, but how much narrative we will put in it is unsure yet. But like all the creativity behind the world is really what makes the game, because every little thing we do is informed by the story.
Okay, cool. And I mean, you've already touched on the characters. The first thing I noticed with the key arts is like like they clearly all have their own distinct personalities. Like the seagull seems to be quite kind of taking that leadership role and stuff. And then was it a chicken that looked very nervous? So is there gonna sort of be any differences in the gameplay according to the characters, or is this just more, is it like a cosmetic thing, or are they going to alter the player experience according to who they pick?
That's actually a really good question. In the phase we are yet, it's not set in stone, because we're like, it's the beginning of the production. So like, but it's an interesting point, and I think I'm gonna actually bring it up to the team, because I think it's something really cool. So like, I don't think so yet, and I cannot say it will be, but as we said, feedback is important, and you're giving me feedback right now just in this interview. So I'm like, that's actually a really good point that I'm gonna just take a note so I don't forget. But like, there we go. So it's not sure, but for now it's more cosmetic, I would say.
Okay.
For now.
No, fair enough. So you said the buzzword I always love hearing in interviews, and it's feedback. And just before we started this chat, and even just a little bit earlier, you mentioned that once upon a time this wasn't hack and stack, it was the tower. But after doing some showcase at conventions and letting people play the game, it was the community feedback that kind of completely changed the direction you went with this game. So can you maybe touch on just how much of an influence the community's had, and in the direction that this game has gone?
Yeah, so at first, for sure, we were already seeing some limitation with the game when we playtested it ourselves. But I think what was really like the nail in the coffin for the tower was people had fun with it. Like it was really a positive feedback. So that's why we didn't just like kill the project right away, because we saw a lot of people having fun with the physics of it, the stacking of it. But the confine of the tower interior levels felt kind of repetitive, and thus we expanded to an open environment to keep gameplay more fresh and challenging. And it's been vital for us, even like with smaller games we did before. We have our nose in that game for so long. Fresh eyes are the best way to optimize the game, to make sure it's everything, everyone, and even ourselves as creative, what we really want. Because we're so into it that we're kind of blind to so much of it. It's kind of stupid to not listen to the people that will play that game to have feedback on it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think just watching this game, even from a sort of a personal standpoint, I used to live with my best friend and her partner, and we would play split screen games together. And I think one of the things that kind of popped into my mind just from watching the footage of this was I used to play Game Busters with my friends, and it was just, especially with these party games, it's just good to have something that's a bit whimsical, doesn't take itself too seriously, but it also needs to be fun. So I mean, you mentioned longevity. It's kind of a key term here. The whole reason I would go back and play those games with my friends is because there was a reason to go back to it. It wasn't getting stale. So as you said, the tower the idea was there, but you guys weren't quite happy with the longevity. So what is different? I mean, you mentioned the open. It's a more open world, not an open world game, but it's a more open space for you to play. But what other things is the team doing to kind of improve that replayability and retain those players for a longer period?
For sure, there's the open level designs, and there will be different biomes to levels that will change the way you play, which helps with replayability. And also there will be DLCs. There will be we want this game, we're starting there, but it's the way it's crafted is that we can build upon it. Building, I can stack, we're stacking.
Yes.
Over it. But that's the thing, is that since it's creativity based, physics based, it's easy for people to try new things. You can even make challenges with yourself. Be like, okay, we're not using any blocks that way, or it's that creativity aspect plus everything we pitch in the game, together with the biomes, how it interacts with the different levels, plus the creativity of the people playing it makes it always fun.
So I guess the big question that people watching this will want to know is when can we expect to see something that's playable? As you said, you're talking about early access and stuff. Is there a future, is there something in the near future, perhaps, as far as play testing is concerned, early access, that kind of stuff? What's in the pipeline?
So, nothing is set in stone. As I said, we just began production, now. That was I think last week was our official kickoff of now we're in production. We want to make it available for people as quickly as possible, but also we want to do something that is still of quality, so people doesn't get discouraged about how clunky it is. But I know there will be some vertical slice for this for 2025, every conventions that we're going. So we're usually doing Comic-Cons, and I think we're aiming for Gamescom, Tokyo Games. We're aiming for a lot of conventions, and there will be a vertical slice that will be available there for sure. So through the year, there will be some playable vertical slice that will be done. But as of formal beta testing, I don't have a really concrete answer.
Yeah,
it's more
so
as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so early in production. It's these things take time. But I assume if people are interested, there is probably some social channels they can check out for any updates and stuff.
Discord,
if you want to drop them.
Yeah. So it's I Can Stack Game everywhere. We're on Discord. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. There's a Reddit. Am I forgetting something? Everywhere. I Can Stack Game. We tried to keep it simple, but you can get into the Discord, and I think the Discord will be the easiest place for the beta testers and everything. I think there's on the website there's a link, or if not, I'll put it right now to make sure it is. So be there, be an early adopter, and that's your easiest way to maybe get a chance to be a beta tester or something like that.
Yeah, unreal. And yeah, just to clarify, it's Hack and Stack with just the letter N, not the word end. So Hack and Stack Game on basically any social channel. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in party games, split screen, something fun, yeah, keep an eye on these guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And if you are at Gamescom, hopefully we'll see you there next year. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, Sophie. We're really excited to see what happens. But yeah, best of luck with development.
Thank you so much.
No worries. See you later.